So for today's TOEFL prep, we're going to look at our top 10 list of top 10 TOEFL habits. Are you ready? If you want to get a great TOEFL score, you'll need to commit yourself to some activities that involve using English every day. You know, language has input and output. Input is reading and listening, and output is speaking and writing. And those are the four skills that the TOEFL exam is going to test you on. So, in order to get the TOEFL score that you want, you're going to need to touch on these four areas every day. To help you do that, I'd like to show you our top 10 TOEFL tips. Number 1, learn about the TOEFL. Every TOEFL exam is different, but every TOEFL test has the same kind of questions. For success in TOEFL, you're going to need to know what kind of questions they're going to ask you and how you're going to answer them. Number 2, think in English. Try to keep English in your head when you're not studying. For example, when you're shopping, use English in your head as your own personal narrator. Hey, that's a really nice sweater, and it's on sale. I think I'll get it. Of course, you don't want to speak out loud, but you can speak those kind of sentences in your head to help you think about English when you're not studying. Number 3, learn different forms of the same word. Let's look at the word encourage. As a verb, we could say, she encourages me. As a noun, we would say, her encouragement was so helpful. As an adverb, we could say, she spoke to me encouragingly. And as an adjective, her encouraging words were really good. So, some words in English have different parts. You should learn all the different forms of each word. Number 4, learn prefixes, suffixes, and roots. Many English words come from the Greek and Latin languages, and there are similar parts of the words called prefixes, roots, and suffixes. Let's look at the word incredible. Well, credi is the root, and that means it's the main part of the word, and credi means believe. Able, like able, is a suffix. That comes at the end of the word, and it means can. So if I put those together, credible means can believe. Then, at the beginning of the word, we can use the prefix in. In means not. So put them all together, we have incredible. Not can believe, not believable. So, learning those different parts of English can help you understand unfamiliar words in the TOEFL exam. If you see some word that ends with able or able, you'll know that word means able to. And if the word starts with im or in, it means not, something negative. Number 5, reading. Reading is really crucial and important for remembering vocabulary and grammar that you already studied. You've studied English for a long time, but do you always use all of the vocabulary that you learned? Of course not. But think about this. When you were a child, back in elementary school, your teachers and parents made you read a lot of books, right? Why? Well, because they wanted to keep your vocabulary alive and keep all of the words that you know fresh. It's the same thing for preparing for TOEFL. And when you read, think about reading academic subjects. History, science, philosophy, these are all common topics used in the TOEFL reading. Learning everyday idioms will certainly help you to improve your TOEFL score. For example, in the listening section, you'll hear a conversation between two students. One student asks the other, hey, are you done with your report? Well, the other student replies, easier said than done. Easier said than done. This idiom, easier said than done, means that doing something is much more difficult than actually talking about it. So, if you know the meaning of these common idioms, you'll find the listening section of the TOEFL much easier. Number 7, listen to English. Now, I know that you probably have the latest Eminem song in your hot playlist in your smartphone. Well, that and Alicia Keys is not going to help you pass the TOEFL. You need to be listening to lectures, presentations, and English conversation. For lectures, I suggest TED.com. There's plenty of lectures there that you can listen to on a variety of topics, many of which are on the TOEFL exam. For English conversation, I recommend any kind of television program that you're interested in. Some of my favorites for English conversation are Friends and The Big Bang Theory. But anything that has English conversation will be good enough for practicing. Number 8, writing. You have to write essays. And to prepare for the TOEFL, you need to write an essay every single day. If you're not in the habit of writing English essays, now is the time to start doing that. ETS, the maker of the TOEFL exam, has a downloadable booklet on their website which contains hundreds of writing topics, sample writing topics for the TOEFL essay. If you want to get a good TOEFL score, you're going to need to write an essay. So, get that booklet and try to write one essay every single day. Remember, on the TOEFL exam, you only have 30 minutes to write a complete and thoughtful essay in English. Number 9, take practice tests. That's right, practice tests. The TOEFL is a timed exam. You need to get used to not only what kind of questions they're going to ask, but the timing for each question. I recommend trying to take a practice test at least once a week as part of your regular study. Finally, TOEFL tip number 10, be prepared. The night before the exam, get a good night's sleep, make sure that you're rested. A day or two before the exam, go to the TOEFL exam center. Make sure you know how to get there. This way, the day of the exam is not the first time that you go to take the exam, and it's not the first time that you go to the testing center. Thanks for joining us today, and don't forget to check out our other TOEFL prep videos right here on YouTube.